Okay, super short video for you today. In my last video, I showed you and I demoed this tail rack that I've been liking from Kemimoto. And I told you in that video that they sent me a couple of accessories to try. And the first one I want to show you is this kind of cool thing. It is a sissy bar for your rack. And I don't know if other manufacturers do this, but I've never seen one for a little tail rack like this. So I thought it was kind of cool. I'll get some close-ups of this, but it's just a real simple piece of, looks like steel, that it has the same powder-coated finish as the rack itself. If you're able to see, it's contoured, so it matches up perfectly with the rack, of course. And like I said, I'll get some better shots of this so you can see it close up. But it just fits on right there. All it comes with is the rack itself, 2 bolts, and 2 lock nuts. So it looks like it does have some installation instructions in there, but I can't imagine them being very complicated because there's 2 holes here, 2 holes here, 2 bolts, and 2 lock nuts. So yeah, I'm gonna throw this on, and if you're wondering what you need a sissy bar for on your tail rack, then maybe you don't need one. But you know, it gives you more mounting points for luggage, and depending on what you're putting on your tail rack, it could keep things from sliding forward into your back. For instance, if you were camping and you picked up some logs for the fire at the main office and you wanted to take them back to your campsite, you could throw them on here. You hit the brakes, they're not going to want to go forward into your back. So, and there's also luggage systems that actually that kind of slide over this type of thing. But yeah, it just gives you another mounting point, gives you more security if you want this type of thing. So yeah, it's pretty slick. I will measure the distance of these holes just in case you have a different rack. It may be compatible with it, or if you have space, you could even drill holes to mount something like this. But I think it's kind of a clever little idea. So let me get the camera positioned to get a better close-up shot while I mount it, and you can see what it looks like. Okay, so hopefully you'll be able to see this a little bit better. Again, the front edge of the rack has a slight curve to it, and the sissy bar attachment has that same exact contour and just fits right there. I did, just for the heck of it, look at the instructions, and sure enough, it involves putting the bolts through the holes and tightening them onto the lock nuts. So, so even with dropping one of the bolts on the floor, it should go on in about a minute. Get these just kind of hand tightened on. The bolts are 5mm hex. The nuts are 13mm. So I'm just going to grab a spanner and my Allen wrench. Obviously you could use pliers or a crescent wrench, whatever you want. Of course, I don't have the most ideal hex wrench for this particular positioning because of this bar, but it's fine. I think on this one I'm actually going to tighten the nut instead of the bolt, since I have this ratchet wrench. A little bit easier for me. And that is it. Feels nice and solid, matches the rack perfectly, so I think that is kind of a novel idea. And like I said in the video that I made about the rack, I like how much space they give you here on this bar, so you can use it as a handle. If you have something like this, it gives you even more leverage if you need to do something like that. And yeah, just a very cool little idea to throw a sissy bar on a dual sport rack. And like I was saying, so this particular tail bag doesn't need anything like this, but I've seen tail bags that have kind of a flap here that can slide over a sissy bar type thing. So if you're looking at luggage like this would be an ideal solution for you. Or if you're just piling high because you're going on a big adventure trip, this gives you more points to tie all your tents and sleeping bags and water bottles and gas cans and toolboxes, whatever you put back here. This gives you one more place to tie them onto. And I realized I forgot to measure the holes, and it'll be a little bit easier to do when it's off, so I'm going to pop it back off really quickly. So from center point to center point on these holes, it looks to me like it is exactly 5 3/4 inches. So I'll put that in millimeters so you can know if you can make this work on your rack if you're interested in it. So again, on and off, super quick. May not be the type of thing that you want to have on your bike all the time, but if you want it for when you need it, it's a simple solution for a lot of things. And here are just a few more angles of it installed. There will be a link to Amazon in the description if you'd like to get one of these for yourself, as well as a discount code that Kemimoto gave me for anybody who's watching the video. As always, I appreciate you watching my videos. Subscribe to my channel if you feel like it, and ride safe.